So we got an African brother, and he is a real brother. Them kind of brothers that we said that we would like to immigrate to America and be, join with Black Americans. Them kind of brothers, right? Those brothers and sisters we welcome all day long. And that's one of the brothers that's going to be featured in this video. Now, this brother owns a construction company, and he's going to tell you the underhanded things that a lot of the Latino males that tried to work in his company tried to do to Black Americans in the area, trying to get them out the job. I want you to hear what this brother had to say.
Because who are working in my company. I'm a Black man. I own a company. I hire a Latino. The Latino comes back and complain about the African Americans because the Latino thinks because I'm African, I don't have any relationship with the African American. The Latino comes to me and tell me that you are an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. That African American cannot work. I have Jose, I have Gonzalez, my brothers who know how to work very well. You need to fire the African Americans, and I will bring a lot of hardworking Latinos who work for your company. This is my company as a Black man. My company. I was a contractor at Quantico Marine Base in Virginia. A contractor for General Electrics. And the Latino workers that are hired, they are snitching on the African American workers that are hired for me to fire the African Americans so they can bring Latinos to take their place.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is an African brother, and he said that he hired a lot of Latinos. But let's flip that. When Latinos get companies, the Latino males in particular, they don't hire Black men. They only go hire their own. I want you to pay attention to that. Black people are the only people that believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And white people do it too. They hire Black people too. I can't say they don't, because trust me, a lot of Black people are hired by white people. But you look at the Asians, they only hire Asians. You look at, we talk about for the most part, they do. We see it. The Latino males and all of them, they hire their own. But Black folks, we go hire Latinos, we go hire everybody else. We don't look out for ourselves. Now, I believe what this man is saying 2,000%. I'm going to tell you why. I seen it my own self, my own two eyes, what this man is saying in the petrochemical industry. And in petrochemical, I worked on the plant side, and then you have the general contractors in the plants. And I've watched them. I've seen them do it, where they'll get a job, and you'll see them always with the supervisors and all. And like, what they doing with that supervisor all the time? The white supervisor. And you find out that they're out here snitching. Oh, hey, I saw DeAndre come in 5 minutes late. Oh, I saw him do this. Oh, I seen him sleeping on the job that day. Oh, I seen this and I seen that. And the whole time he's doing everything he can to get you fired. And then if he get DeAndre out of there, he gonna tell the boss, I got like he said, I got a good hardworking friend. My uncle's hardworking. My this one is hardworking. My dad hardworking. You're not gonna have none of them problems. And then they go it on and hire them and bring in their cousin, their friend, and then the cycle continues. Then they basically try to pick off the Black people for sure, and the white people too. But they pick off, definitely, they go after the Black people first. They pick you off one by one by one, and then every time you gone, they people come in. And then you'll look up and be like, why everybody here? But when you got there before, the workforce was diverse. Okay? I'll tell y'all, don't talk about any issues with nobody, really. But definitely don't talk about no issues on the job with the men, because I can't speak on the women, because I don't have no experiences with the women. But we talk about the men. Don't be talking about certain issues with them, because you might well go tell the supervisor what you're talking about. There's sometimes will come to you like, yeah, he do too much. He works us too hard, X, Y, Z. Now he's complaining and you complaining, but then all of a sudden your supervisor is asking you about that conversation. Say, what? I say, he was saying this and that and the third. But he ain't really believing you, because he went over here and told him all kind of stuff about you. And now you got a problem on your job now. Always trying to sabotage. See, my thing is, when people talk about, oh, they go do the jobs that y'all don't want. Nobody's asking to go pick no garlic, no strawberry, no orange. Nobody's talking about that. But we're talking about those construction jobs that pay very well. We're talking about those petrochemical jobs. Now you got brothers right now talking about how they're ruining the trucking industry, how they're doing that. They're taking less money for loads. And these companies gonna say, oh, well, if I gotta pay an American $2,000 for this load, but I can go pay this guy $1,000 for the load, I'm gonna go pay $1,000 to this guy. That way I pocket $1,000 that I would have lost. So now you're hearing brothers complaining that loads are getting even slower because these guys are coming out here and getting trucks and they're taking less money. Them undercutting like that hurts the economy. It doesn't help it. And because a lot of them live a lot of people to a house, I mean, shoot, they can do that. Now, when they came to the brother, they said, you're an immigrant, I'm an immigrant. Hey, that black American's lazy. Get rid of them because we're immigrants. They didn't expect for that African brother to stand for his brothers. They didn't expect that. They thought that he was going to be on this. Yeah, I'm different than them. I don't like them either. And they felt comfortable. Let me tell my brothers and sisters here from the diaspora. The reason why that man can say that, because unfortunately, some of you have had that conversation with Latinos and whoever else about us as black Americans. That's why they felt comfortable saying that to him. We've been saying that, hey, brothers and sisters from America, look out for black immigrants. Black immigrants, look out for us. That's what we were saying for a long time. Now a lot of brothers and sisters delineate and say, man, we on our own because nobody. And now since we delineated, now black immigrants want to be like, hey, man, we all brothers. Like, we've been saying that forever, but like, why everybody, But this is one of the brothers that we want here. This brother right here. And people need to tell these stories about how these other groups are sitting up here undermining black people on the job. And think about it. If that were white men doing that, and we found out white men were undermining and undercutting and we'll be raising holy hell about it. And that's my issue with black people. You raise hell if a white man or woman do you anything. You raise hell. What is it about them that you're not raising hell about? Why is it that white people got to get all the smoke, but they don't get nothing? You'll file lawsuits on white people. You'll protest white people. You do everything to white people. But when they do it, the Asians do it, or anybody got a little color to them, you don't really go out and do it. Listen, you should be more vicious about these other groups, because if it wouldn't have been for our ancestors and what they did in this country, these other people wouldn't have a chance to be on no work site talking about a black person lazy. Think about that. That is hella offensive. You come into this country, you got freedom without sacrifice, and that's why you're entitled. Then you're going to turn around, bring your anti-black racism that you came across that border with from Latin America. Let me tell you something. The black folks in your homeland may not say nothing. But here, we fight. And we need to start speaking up, and also gatekeep too. It's okay to hire your own community. It's okay. They do it. Well, how come we can't do it? You go to black businesses and you see all these different people in there. What's wrong with us establishing a business and hiring in our community? What's wrong with that? And you can't shame black people because they do it all day long and nobody says anything. Asians do it. Arabs do it. Indians do it. They all do it. These other groups, they hire their own people. Maybe they families or whatever. But black folks, we don't say, you know what, let me see if the little young brother or sister, summertime need a job and put a little money in their pocket for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Then let me see if other brothers and sisters who going through it in corporate America, you know, they need a job. Let me see if they want to come over here and they're not going to go through it here. We need to be looking out for our own just as much as these other groups look out for their own. You working for an African man, but in telling the African to get rid of the black American. Sure couldn't be me, because the one that would have told me that, I'd have fired him on the spot. I don't say, first of all, you don't come to me and try to do my job telling me somebody else is lazy. If you got that much time to look at somebody else, talking about they're lazy, that means you're not working. So let me fire you, and then I'll get them all there. Don't you come in my office telling me about some other man. If another man not doing his job, I'll see it, and then I'll talk to him. Calling somebody lazy. If somebody lazy, it'll show in their performance if they're lazy. I don't need you to come to my office telling me nothing and talking about you got a friend or whatever. I don't want you here. Get out. You're fired. The one thing I like about Texas, it's a right to work state, so you can fire if you want to. His behind have been fired so fast. Because anybody that's snitching like that to you, they'll snitch on you too. You don't want them kind of people around you. Underhanded, undermining people, conniving people. But it's black folks, Africans, Caribbeans. Let's hire each other. Let's hire each other. Hey, you Caribbean person, hire some FBAs. You African, hire some Caribbeans and FBAs. FBAs, we always hire anyway. We'll hire Caribbean brother or sister. We'll hire African. We don't care about all that crap. We hire a lot of Latinos. And I'm not saying all Latinos are bad, because they're not. They got a lot of cool Latinos out there. Cool as ice. We're talking about the ones that are just on this underhanded crap. The ones that's just carrying this anti-black racism. We're talking about them. We ain't talking about all Latinos. I have Latinos that love our show. I've met plenty of Latinos out in the country that shook my hand and said, man, I love what you're doing. And I appreciate them for watching. But the ones that got some anti-black racism, no different than the folks. You got some anti-black racism, bro. I'm going to talk about it. It's just that simple. But when it comes to people like Latinos that they wouldn't even be in this country, it would have been for the fight of FBAs and everything they're benefiting. It's because of my hard work. You wouldn't have better get over here to work not even 2 seconds. It wouldn't have been the fight of FBA. So yes, FBAs need to be very vicious about our respect and our boundaries. And we're going to keep our boundaries exactly where they at. We're not fighting for nobody. We staying home. Leave us alone. That's our boundary right now. Your fight is your issue. Just like our fight is our issue. But once again, I appreciate our brother for standing on business. He didn't have to do that. That's why I always say when some people in our community take issue with black, you have this all black immigrant kind of conversation. Not all black immigrants are against black people here. No, they're not. I know that. I meet plenty of them in the street all the time. And they rock with us and they support. And that's all we're saying. That's what we need. We need more brothers and sisters like that here in America. And at the same time, even with the ICE thing, them being black immigrants, they blend in with us very well a lot of times. So if they don't open their mouth, ICE are passing right on up unless they know who they're looking for. And that's another reason why some of them would get mad at even the Africans and Caribbeans. Because they kind of have a little protection here a little bit that the other ones don't. But brothers like that we can work with, and that's the unity I like to see.